I'm Joe Tilley. Let's just call them Kings of the Kings. Two of the greats from the LA Kings, Marcel Dionne and Bernie Nicholls. And the 3HL is back. 3-on-3 hockey. Who doesn't love that? Joe Tilley Sports. Coming up. Got an action-packed show for you here today. Our first guest, he's a center, born and raised in Drummondville, Quebec. He played junior hockey in Quebec and St. Catharines. He was drafted second overall in the 1971 draft. He played 18 seasons in the NHL with the Red Wings, LA Kings, and the New York Rangers. 731 goals, 1,040 assists for 1,771 points in 1,348 games. He was a 12-time All-Star, two-time Lady Byng winner, Lester Pearson winner twice, Art Ross Trophy winner. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992. Ladies and gentlemen, the Little Beaver, Marcel Dionne. Marcel, welcome to the program.
Come on up.
Come on up. You like that, right?
You're the best.
Marcel, yeah, man.
Really happy to be
We're
on
going
your
to
show.
begin. Oh, thank you, man. It's really good to have you. We're going to begin at the beginning. So, okay, we're going to talk about your junior career. Like, you smashed all the OHLA records at St. Catharines, 122 points in 43 playoff games, in addition to all those points in regular season. You went to the Memorial Cup final. But let's talk about that wild incident in Quebec City during that series with the Rampart way back in 70 or 71? 71.
71. So it's just basically, so there were some tough times at that time politically in Quebec. If you, probably your audience, they're not old enough, the FLQ. And myself and another Frenchman, Pierre Guité, were the only two French guys from Quebec and playing in Ontario. So there was a lot of there was that fighting aspect of it, that the English against French and so on, which still is today, but not as bad. And what happened, Quebec had I played against Guy Lafleur all my life. I mean, we were very good friends. And I saw that I broke my collarbone and during that last season, and I had a chance to go and see them play in my hometown. We had a junior team. And Guy was tall and he had a good team. And I said, whoa, that could be a team we could meet. So I came back, got better, and we won the championship. So we had to play the Ramparts. Let me tell you, the people were not ready to see a series like that. We started at home, the series 4 out of 7. But first game, Jacques Richard, the late Jacques Richard, scored 2 goals. And, it was a small rink, and he scored from the red line. They won 4-2. That was a setback. We won the next one, I think, 7-4. And we went back to Quebec, and look out. Here's what it is in French. Ils sont en or, no ball. Every time they scored, you would hear that song. It drove you nuts. And it was really a lot of fights. It was crazy. The Booster Club took a beating. The parents. We lost the 2 games. So we came back home, and there's so much. Everybody was watching. Who's going to be the best player? Number 1 draft, Dionne or Lafleur, Dionne. It never crossed my mind. I don't think it crossed Guy's mind either. But we decided to play in Toronto. Joe, we played in Toronto. They sold out those tickets within 15 minutes. And bigger building, more money. Mind you, the tickets were not that expensive in those days. $2 for a hockey ticket. But we won the game. And we never went back. We never finished the series. The parents voted to have the young players going back. And when I think of being young, I mean, you're 19 years old. You don't know anything about anything. We just wanted to play hockey. So they offered Quebec to go back and we'll play in Montreal, neutral arena and so on. And I said to everybody, I said, hey, they're never going to do that. It's impossible. They're from Quebec. So we never finished the series. They went on to play Edmonton in there was call it the Outlaw Junior League then, because they were using guys that were 20 years old or something. And so They won the cup this way. But it's always when I see Guy Lafleur, he asked him, well, what do you think of that series? He says, well, there were a bunch of chickens that didn't want to come back. I says, will you stop on saying that?
Well, didn't you have to? Didn't you needed an armed guard to get back on your bus, for crying out loud?
Everything, oh yeah, death threat to my house, my parents, and it was rough. That's when Laporte and James Cross, politician, and it's hard to believe. What's this? The National Guards went to the United States and Washington. Well, do you know that Pierre Trudeau shut down Montreal, calling the army? That's how bad it was. And they found the gentleman in the trunk of a car, but it was just more than hockey. It was just survival. It was rioting. It's incredible.
So the Habs had the number one pick, and it was obviously between you and Lafleur. Had they ever indicated to you that they might take you instead of Guy?
No, but the story is very simple. It's Scotty Bowman said, and I didn't really care. The way you see the draft now, I was going to stay home, and then Detroit called my coach, and it says, well, you got to bring him to Montreal. And so I said, okay, well, it looks like they're going to draft you. And I was not even thinking about that. I was just thinking, well, if I'm going to the NHL, this is incredible. I never thought of that I'm going to be there. But Scotty Bowman, every time he sees me, he says, no, you're the guy. I said, it's too late to say that. But the funny thing is, it's what happened is Sammy Pollock. This is a true story. You got to go back and watch it. When it says Montreal's first round pick, he calls for timeout. Everybody started to laugh. Says, "Who do you want?" So it never happened. Timeout. Yeah, are you kidding me? So, and the thing is that it didn't matter to me. It's some guys now. You watch them playing in the NHL, and they're bringing junior, and they got everything figured out. No, I didn't have anything figured out. I just want to know to make it happen, to be performing, because being 5'7.5", and when your dad is about 6'2", there's a problem. So Gordie Howe, when he first saw me, Joe, when Gordie Howe saw me in Detroit, he saw my mom, he saw my dad. He said, he looked at me, he said, "What happened to you?" I says, "It was the milk that was on my dad." And Joe, Gordie was so nice and eloquent and so on. But that was the thing, sit back and just you got to perform. I love to perform, and I was very lucky to go to Detroit, and I did enjoy it.
Well, you know what, and as it turned out, things were pretty good for you, because you went to Detroit, you got a chance to play. Because you got a chance to play, you had 77 points as a rookie. You were picked to Team Canada for the Summit Series. I believe you're the only rookie on the team that was picked to the team. And because of that, you had some awesome numbers in Detroit. Yet the Red Wings turned around and dealt you to LA after a 90-point season, a 121-point season. What was up with that?
Well, it was not. Now we're going way back, but it was very simple, Joe. It was a contract dispute. Here's what I did that people probably don't know with Guy Lafleur. Like, I learned early. I was born in business. My mom was running a store and convenience store, and I see money all the time. I would work there, so I signed a 1-year deal. What's this? Guy Lafleur signed a 3-year deal. I have a good year in the first year, But you look at his stats. His stats were pretty good in Montreal. I don't know what they were expecting, and they were not happy for some reason. That's when he removed his helmet and just threw it out, eh? So
Yeah.
I'm on 1 year, he's on 3. Then I go on 3, and then the WHA comes along, and now, thank God those guys left, Joe, to the WHA, because I would have never been able to make the money at that time that the past players couldn't get. And you remember Bobby Hall left. He left for Winnipeg.
Right.
So after my 3rd year, that's what happened. I had 4 years in the NHL. I finished 3rd in scoring behind Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito. Then I had a chance to look at where I could go. And Detroit offered me a contract, $175,000 a year. I said, holy jeez, I'm rich. But Mickey Redmond was my best friend. He said, Pee-wee. He called me Pee-wee all the Pee-wee, it's not enough.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I made a mistake. He called me midget. Now you can't say that, right? So he was a very, very good friend, 50-goal scorer. He said, no, that's not enough. I said, Mickey, I don't care how much you make. I said, I'm happy with that. Well, I had a chance to look, and Jack Kent Cook came, offered me $300,000 a year, U.S. at the time. The Canadian dollar was pretty strong. At that time I'm doing that, Guy Lafleur signed a 10-year deal in Montreal for $100,000 a year. I'm making 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How can that be? And if you go back and the audience watch, Guy had to go on strike in Toronto. He said, if you don't pay me more, I'm not playing. Who was his agent? My God.
Yeah.
Detroit was forced to let me go because if I don't sign with LA, I'm going to Edmonton. And that's
right.
That's
with the WHA. Right.
Well, would have Wayne Gretzky go there at the time? I mean, you don't know. You can't go back and say, what about if, but what? And
right.
and I'll tell you this, it's a fact. Montreal Canadiens, their top players, Robinson, Schott, they were making $200,000 a year. And their contracts got better. And I said, you can make more. I said, Larry, you can make $400,000 a year. You got it. You know what his answer was? We win Stanley Cups. I said, do you think I don't want to win a Stanley Cup? The average of a player is 5 years. Today it's different. You play 5 years, minimum you make it $5 million. Then you should save some and go on and find something else, Joe. But he wasn't there. And I looked after myself. I did. But I performed. I performed for what I got paid and never had any problems with contracts.
So that was at the time was the biggest contract in NHL history. But so you, I guess you and your agent then worked out the deal with the Kings. Is that how it worked out? Like the Kings were offering to pay you, so then the Red Wings were willing to make the deal. Is that how it came down?
Yeah. So what happens? They traded me for
Maloney.
That's right, Maloney and Bart.
Terry Harper and Cash.
That's right. Bart Crashley. What a name. He was a defenseman. Bart Crashley. Played in Montreal too. So that was the trade. I know Bob Pulford did not want to trade Maloney because he was a tough guy then, and he was a good fit with both scoring. I didn't need that myself to have a big guy to play with. If he plays, if he can't play, he's going to score a lot of goals. So and Jack Kent Cook, that's what he did. That season I signed with Cook. With LA. Guess who just signed him at the same time? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They went on to win 5 championships, and I went on to struggle, but could never put a competitive hockey team out there. The guys were good. All the players I played with, I could never say they were not right. They couldn't put. We see this in Toronto, right? We still see this in Toronto, but it's difficult to win. It's difficult to win that cup.
Right. Well, this is it's really difficult, and when at least look back at 64 years, it will be this spring, or 54 years, sorry. You realize how difficult it is to win one of those Stanley Cups. I mean, the Habs cherry picked, and they got some really good draft picks. Pollock did some great wheeling and dealing back in the 70s. And the Oilers had that fantastic team, but you don't get any dynasties anymore. Winning a cup is a hard thing to do, and you
So
had some fun though.
you oh, yeah, but you're looking at 32 teams. And I watched
Right.
6 teams when I was a kid, and they went up to 12 teams. And then when I joined, there was 2 more teams. There was 14. So now there's 32 teams. That's a lot of people, a lot of personal. It's tough to keep track of all the guys. But honestly, when I finished my career, I was in New York. I didn't have a press conference. I did not cry. I didn't feel sorry for myself. And I thanked the game. I thanked everybody. And I said, now I'm going to be in control of my life. Joe, that's what I did. And what a gift. I made a promise to myself that I would never work for somebody. I says, I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to fire people. I'm going to make them better. And if they don't get better, they can only look at themselves as, well, I'm the best guy to work with. If it doesn't work, you're going to have a tough time. And I have enjoyed that. Hockey is a great sport because it's locker room talk. It's a physical game. You got to have the mental approach. And if you want to characterize my career, and most of the stars in the game, I don't consider myself a star. I just love to play, and I was good at it. I know I was good at it. It's the mental approach to the game. And if you watch the Super Bowl yesterday, the greatest quarterback, he was great before the Super Bowl this year. That's the first thing he said. We got the job done. But this mental approach is so strong. It's so incredible. I'm very happy for him. That was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Now, listen, tell us about the Triple Crown line, how that came to be, and one of the most exciting lines ever, and a lot of fun to watch.
Good lines happen by luck.
Yeah.
You go on the ice, and for me, if the guy, whoever I played with, if I give him the puck and he gives it back, he was in business. If I give him the puck and it doesn't come back, you're on your own. It's tough. So once you find these guys, that's what happened with Dave Taylor and Charlie Simmer. Dave came to camp, and I watched him. He came from Clarkson University, and I played with Danny Grant before, Mickey Redmond. They were natural goal scorers, but it's tough to find them. So those guys that work hard, the guys that get the puck, and they do everything, but they can't score. So I watched him at training camp. Who's this guy? He was hitting everybody, and boy, fast, and I could see like he had some emotion. So he started to play with me, and we fit in right away. But we didn't have that next guy. So Dave is a mucker. Go in the corner. He would hit people. He disturbed the problem. Then Charlie Simmer came along. I had him at training camp. I saw him, 6'3", tall, good-looking guy. Played against him when he was in Oakland. But he came in with us through Cleveland, and he was in the minor league. So practice with him, play with him. Geez, I really like this guy. So, but they didn't keep him. They sent him back. We go to Detroit. Rogie Vachon left for LA to play with Detroit. Signed. He did almost the same things I did. So he signed in Detroit, right? But watch this now. So this big tall guy got called up, and that was the start of the Triple Crown line. Danny Grant, the late Danny Grant, he was a phenomenal guy. Got hurt. Charlie came in, and here's what happened. I scored 4 goals against Rogie Vachon. And everybody said, geez, how come? I said, how come? We didn't have goalie instructors in those days. I says, I was his instructor. So when I come down the wing room, he says, am I giving you too much room, or do I have this? Do I come out? So I work with him. So guess what? When I first played the first game, you think I didn't know what his weakness was? So Charlie got a couple assists. Dave Taylor got a goal and 2 assists. And this was the start of the Triple Crown. Charlie went on to score 2 seasons of 50 goals. They always said he was not fast enough, but I know he had the hands, he had the size, get in front of the net. I would say that 90% of the goals are scored from 5 feet. If you don't believe me, watch the replays every night. You see the odd slap shot, but a lot of goals. So he could stand there, bounce people. I was a quarterback. You know, like it's like when we watch Kansas City, their quarterback. He couldn't throw that ball. He was chasing everywhere. You got to finish the place. And then you look at the big guy and Brady, and you watch, it's got a hole. It's finished. It's over, right? That's what it was with Charlie. Yeah. So now I finally had a guy. Yeah. It's so pleasant because the game is very simple, Joe. It's a puck. It's a stick. That's all you have to think about. That's what you play with. Everybody makes it so difficult. They said, no, it's a puck. It's a stick. There's guys that played 8 minutes on the ice, don't touch the puck. It's crazy.
Okay, speaking of the Triple Crown line, we have a little excerpt from a video you guys did, a little number you did called "Forgive My Misconduct." Let's play that, Vic.
Oh my God. You didn't think twice. You threw me out. You're cold as ice. You gotta believe me. I was out of control. I'll never break the rules again, 'cause you're my only goal. Forgive my misconduct. Forgive me my misconduct. Please forgive my misconduct. Last night. You got the moves. I've been checking you close. I love you.
Okay, love the little butt wiggle there, Marcel.
Yeah, we sold over 150,000 records.
Well, you know what? Listen, you guys had a future in country music, man. You guys had a future there.
But Joe, it's small. The producer of this was a great Alan Thicke.
No
and he
kidding.
did that for the juvenile diabetes. This is a true story. He had a passion for hockey. He was very good to all of us. I knew he was really good to Wayne Gretzky when Wayne first went back to LA. This guy was a phenomenal guy. And it never leaves you. It's about 2 years ago, 2.5 years, when LA comes to town, and he asked me if I come to the game with Look Where Ty's Talking. So I go on the radio, and I saw Alan Thicke during the summer, did a show at the casino, and he was 69 years old. I said, how do you do all that? Oh, he says, well, I have agents. He says, I'm not like you. I'm not a businessman, right? And he was telling me he's still playing with his son and playing hockey. And I said to him, Alan, you got to be careful. Hockey, when you like that, I know you love it. I played with you in the old timers. When you go from point A to point B, your heart is a muscle. You got to warm that up. But that night in Buffalo, they called me back in the booth and just told me that Alan Thicke died playing hockey. I was devastated. He's done so much for everybody. And when we did that record, man, it's just like, you got to have fun. And those are great memories, great memories.
Well, you know what? There's somebody else here who's ready to join us now, and I would like to bring him in. Before I do, I'm going to give him a little bit of a nice little setup here. So this gentleman hails from Haliburton, Ontario, center who played 17 years in the NHL with the LA Kings, the New York Rangers, the Oilers, the Devils, the Blackhawks, and the Sharks. He was a fourth-round pick, 73rd overall by the LA Kings in 1980. 475 goals, 734 assists, 1,209 points in 1,127 games. He was a three-time All-Star, a silver medal at the World Championships, one of 8 players to score 70 goals in one season, a guy who absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame, and consider this the start of a momentum to get him there. Ladies and gentlemen, Bernie Nicholls has joined us. Bernie, welcome to the program, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Good seeing you, Mars.
Yeah.
Good listening to you, bud.
You got to buy the first round. You were late.
That's right.
Yeah. There were circumstances beyond his control, and it's okay, Bernie. We're okay. We're glad that you're here to join us. We were just talking a little bit about Marcel's career and how things got happening in LA. And before we get back to that, I just want to bring you into and how you set up your career a little bit. You had a great junior career in Kingston. The final season, 63 goals, 152 points in 65 games. Had a great playoff run that year. Spent a year in the AHL, 41 goals in 51 games. But obviously, the Kings felt compelled to call you up. What was it like getting to the show and getting a chance to play with guys like Marcel and the Triple Crown line?
Yeah, it was any kid's dream, right? Like they always ask you, what's your favorite, thing about the NHL? And obviously, it's just playing, having the opportunity to play. I was fortunate. I got there. Mars was there, the Triple Crown line. I used to love it because the power play, Mars would play the point, and I got to go play center for Mars. I had 3 hat tricks in 3 games playing with Mars, so he made it pretty easy for me. It was a lot of fun.
Now, so you can be honest and tell us that Marcel was a great teammate.
Oh, absolutely. And you talk about nowadays when you talk about goal scorers, this guy had over 700 goals in the NHL. Like that's ridiculous. And he said he got most of it, within 5 feet. No one wrist shotted the puck better than Mars. You see a lot of guys today slap shot the puck and this and that. Mars wrist shotted the puck. I bet you 90% of his goals were wrist shots, and no one was more accurate.
Well, we liked your little celebration after the goals there. They called it the pumpernickel.
Well, that was Bob Miller. Yeah, Bob Miller did that. And I think it started, which was funny, was we're playing in Edmonton in a playoff game, and we beat them 9-8. If you can imagine, 9-8. And I scored an empty net goal, and I skated from one end to the other, and Bob was just screaming in the press box with all the Oilers there, and do the pumpernickel, Bernie, and I did. And it was awesome. Bob was the man.
Yeah, man. It was good times. Well, you guys against the one year you guys beat the Oilers is 82, and there was that one game I remember. I think you guys were down 4-0, and Gary Buss or 5-0, right? Gary Buss, the owner, went home after the second period and missed one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the NHL playoffs.
Well,
tell us about that.
The thing was, the press box, Jerry's box was in between the our box and the Oilers. So he's sitting right there on the glass. So when we came out, his box is empty. He's gone. So it was pretty fitting that we ended up coming back like that, and he missed it.
Well, your second. Oh, go ahead, Marcel.
He was on his way to Palm Springs. So what happened when we started to come back? I think Jay Well was the first one, made it 5-1, then 5-2. Then the chauffeur said to Mr. Buss, he says, "Do you want to go back?" He says, "What?" He says, "No." He says, "I bring them bad luck." But for what Bernie knows, and he had a long career, and he's played with Wayne and Mark Messier and all these guys and so on. That moment, that's solidified hockey in California. Things have changed now. And I'm sure when Bernie came with us, that we always knew somebody could win the Stanley Cup in California. But nobody believed it was possible because, it's California, it's the beaches, it's the girls, it's all that stuff. So, and Bernie, knows. And for me, when Bernie came, it was like, wow, finally got one more player that could play on his own. Bernie was a little bit different. I was a little bit tougher in the sense that my mental approach was like, I came to play every game. And Bernie knows that. And looking back, I should have calmed down and just go with the flow. But the problem is I saw so many players traded. And Bernie got to see that. You start the training camp every year with 10 guys that you played with them at the end of the season. And to me, there was nothing wrong with these guys. They just couldn't put the team together. Could not put, and guys, one player in particular, Ian Turnbull, came to us. There was nothing wrong. It was exciting to have. Bernie will tell you that. And our coach, Don Perry.
Great leaf.
Yeah.
You know what? He didn't want him. He didn't want him because it was a thing when he was with Brophy and the way he didn't have his ways of doing things. But he was a great guy and a great performer coming to a team. Now he says, okay, I'm not in Toronto. I don't have those people all over me every night, and I'm going to play. And he did. And then guess what? Simple thing. Don Perry said, Ian, I want you on a scale. And hey, Ian was a big guy. He says, you got to lose 25 pounds. I don't know if Bernie remembers that. He says, you got to lose 25 pounds. As Ian went by me, he turned around, he said, good luck to you, to Don Perry. And that was the last time he played. That's a shame. That's a shame. It's stupid, absolutely stupid. And that's a proven fact that Bernie had many coaches. Most of them just can't talk. They can't get that out of you, right, Bernie? They can't get it out of you, make you better. They put you down. What are you doing? We put you down. We all want to win, right? We all want to win. And by the way, what you think about Bernie? With his stats, he's got Hall of Fame stats. He's got Hall of Fame stats. How come? How come? Well, it's the old club there. True story. If somebody gets behind you, your organization, you got a good chance to go in. If they don't, you have to do it, and hopefully, it's tough. So I hope, Bernie, that you got a shot at it. Trust me. I know. I saw you play. It drove me nuts, but I knew you got good hands.
There's that pumpernickel.
Yeah.
3 hat tricks in 10 days. You touched on that early with and that's you said with Marcel playing the point. Wow.
Yeah.
Franchise record for points in one game. I mean, look at this, right? There's that pumpernickel you're talking about, right? That empty netter against the Oilers. Yeah, man. Some good times, and really, it is a travesty that you're not in the Hall of Fame. And perhaps if the Kings maybe pushed a little harder for you, might be a different story. That's what I think you're touching on, Marcel, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's it is. But again, what I said about Don Perry, there's a comeback, and Bernie was there when we played the Oilers. That series before the first game. We had some big guys. It was not a question, the fear to fight Edmonton with the fist. It was who's going to score the most goals. So Don Perry goes like this. He goes, Jerry Corab, how tall are you? 6'4", 225. Rick Shatro, how tall are you? 6'1", 235. John Kelly, how tall are you? 6'4". Dave Lewis, 6'2". So Charlie Simmers, 6'3". They went by me. I'm 5'7.5". So when he goes like this,
Which skates on?
And here's what it is. If Bernie doesn't remember, it caught me. He says, "What are you afraid of?" It says, "What are you afraid of?" They're not going to beat us with their fists. They're not going to beat us. He says, "Go out there and perform the best you can." You know what? We won. We won. We went back. It was a series out of 5. 3 out of 5 again. And when we went back to Edmonton on the Monday, that was an incredible, tough game. Edmonton won. Another one. Bernie could tell you that. Do you know we didn't have another plane? So we had to get the 2 teams on the same plane. I knew Kevin Lowe. I knew some guys, So now we just beat the heck out of each other. We're fighting.
Awkward.
So they let us in first, and then they came in and say, "Let's come down here." It's not amazing. Now we just beat the heck out of each other. But we played on that Tuesday, and I knew we were going to win. The good thing we did, we cornered Paul Coffey. Finally realized that if you neutralize him, Gretzky's not getting that puck. And we did, and finish him off, take him out of the play, and we won. It was incredible. They had a team to go on and win a cup. That was the same team.
Yep.
Great story.
Good job. Good job. You guys did an amazing job. So here's what happens. That Bernie is so successful as being the number 2 center, 100-point season, that they actually figured, the Kings figured, that they can afford to trade Marcel Dionne. It's kind of unusual how that worked out. But, Bernie comes along and he becomes such a good center that they decided that you were expendable, Marcel. And I'm sure you didn't really want to leave the Kings, but that's what happened.
Well, for me, I was ahead. I didn't want to be the guy. Bernie can't be that guy. Jimmy Carson can be the guy. But can't fulfill the role. You won't have to worry about me. It's not about ice time. I'll come prepared. Because eventually, you're half a second late. You have this, and suddenly, when you could pick the corner and a little hole, now you think you got a big hole you can't score. So now you have to do a different thing. But I could see what's happening. Instead of addressing it, I said, you know what? I'll do it for you. I said, I went to Rogi Vachon. I told him, listen, it looks like it's not going anywhere. I still have 1 year left my contract. But I didn't want to, I tried to tell him, I said, I don't want to go to Montreal, and I'm sitting on a bench, and I'm not playing, but I'm not playing for the best of the team because I only need one shift. I only need one shift to score a goal. And I did it in New York. I scored 22 power play goals, one shift. My mom and dad says, Jesus, you're doing well in New York. I says, yep, I play 1 minute a game. And I was happy. But they didn't understand, well, you're a superstar. You can't do this. So I realized it's time to go. And that's where they traded me. And I had no regret. That's the way it goes. I watched hundreds and hundreds of players there. And they're still not of my friends. I mean, what are you going to do? It's a business, and you have to survive in the business world. And I did that.
Well,
but I was Lakers, Joe, and Bernie will tell you this. In Los Angeles, you had the Lakers, you had the Dodgers, you had the Raiders. Well, Raiders came down. The Rams, USC, UCLA. It was tough for us to get the front page. That changed when Wayne went there.
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Well, actually,
what's going on with the great one? The great one? Geez, I had a little station wagon. He comes to the games with a big limousine. Boy, the time has changed.
Yeah, the times did change. And actually, our buddy Paul Pascas dug up some nice vids. That's how we got that the video of the "Forgive My Misconduct." But we got a clip here of Bernie talking about the arrival of Wayne Gretzky. Vic, go ahead with that one.
I scored more goals in 1 year than any LA King player's ever done. And she said, "Is that the year you played with Wayne Gretzky?"
Oh my God.
I said, "It sure was, honey. That year he filled the Forum and I entertained it."
There you go.
Oh God.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. Yeah, they give you a nice tribute at the Kings for sure.
You know what? I was so afraid.
What was that like?
Well, I was so afraid because obviously I was joking and I don't want to make a joke. And I was just hoping that the fans would laugh, because if they didn't and I heard crickets, I would have just lost my mind. So it worked out great. But you know, like when we were there with Mars, we had our regular 10,000 fans every night, and they were great. And obviously, when Gretz came, you're sold out every night, and it's a place to be. You got all the actors there, and he obviously turned LA into a hockey town, and it was great before he got there. But when he came, it was something special.
You know what's crazy is that you know when Gretzky came along, and you guys had a lot of fun. I mean, the Kings were turned around. Everything was completely different. I remember I've talked to Sandy Hawley on the show before, and he talked about he was working the penalty box back then, and
Yeah,
all the celebrities were in town, and everybody celebrities at the game. It completely changed everything. And then you get traded, and what's crazy is that you had already been named to the All-Star team along with Gretzky, Robitaille, and Duchesne. So four Kings on the All-Star team, and you're named to the All-Star team, and then you find out right before, I think it was the day before the All-Star game that you were traded. Is that what happened?
it was after the skills competition, and the funny thing is,
Oh,
that was just after my big year. I wanted to buy a house in LA, and I went to Bruce McNall, and I said, I'm not a
yeah.
businessman. I said, Bruce, I'm signing a big deal. I'd like to buy a house. He said, yeah, absolutely. He said, I'll never trade you. So I'm at the All-Star game. We just played the skills competition. And after that, I'm walking, and Mike Vernon says, I heard you were just traded. I said, what the hell are you talking about, And I went to Bruce McNall, and he said, yeah, we just traded you to New York for Tony and Thomas Enstrom. So, the next day I'm playing the All-Star game for the West, but I'm a member of the East. So that was it was a little uncomfortable at the time. It was tough.
No kidding. Yeah, that was a very awkward situation. One of the
Yeah,
most awkward I've heard for a new playing against your soon-to-be teammates, playing with your
Brian Leach.
soon-to-be ex-teammates.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
Brian Leach. Yeah,
Yeah.
jeez, that's pretty nuts.
Hey,
So then
Joe,
you end up going to. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Marcel.
Joe, real quick one about Wayne Gretzky. So it never stops. Like Bernie's got a lot of stories too. So what happened? The Kings celebrate the 50th anniversary and all that stuff, and they bring a lot of guys back. And Wayne is there. He comes in. We're all wearing our sweaters, and we're having a few cocktails and feeling pretty good. So, and Wayne goes in with his speech. That's before we go on the ice and be introduced. And he goes out there saying all these guys in 1967, other guys that got this franchise going, and so on. This is a highlight to be here. He says, by the way, he says, you get the Triple Crown. And I was kind of far away a little bit. He says, Marcel, get over here, get over here. So he brought me close to him. So he's going, hey, that's it. You guys were unbelievable. And I said, holy jeez, he was so nice about it. So I put my hand in my pocket and I took my wallet out. I says, how much does it cost me for you to say good things about me? Watch this. He comes back. He says, give me back the trophy you stole from me my first year. That was a scoring title. We
Right, the
tied.
whole thing. It was a back
He's
Yeah.
shot in the back. Yeah,
He's walking away from me laughing. I said, hey, get back here. Because some of the guys didn't know, like the older guys, right? I said, we
right.
got to get this thing straightened out, right? Look at all the awards you won. I says, I wanted to share it with you, but that was the rule. I didn't really care. I told his dad, Mr. Gretzky. I said, it belongs to him. We teach our kids that an assist is as good as a goal. I didn't make those rules. All I needed is one more to just controversy over. Oh my God. That was a good one.
Right. I mean, hey, listen, you earned your Art Ross trophy, and you should bloody well keep it. Yeah. I mean, you had more
That's
goals than
right.
he did that year, and that's the way it works,
Sure
right?
did.
They had to choose one
Hey,
winner, and that was it. You were the winner. Yeah.
Bernie,
It's all good to
it's
me.
hard to
Yeah.
win more goals than Wayne Gretzky's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, how many players can say that? Although the guy beside you can. Here's a guy who got 70 goals in one season. There's only seven, I think seven of the guys who've scored 70 goals in a season. They're all in the Hall of Fame. So once again, we come back to that to that push to get Bernie into the Hall of Fame where he definitely belongs. Okay, so neither of you guys were able to win a cup as a player, but Bernie, you were hired as a coaching assistant with the Kings, or sorry, the Blackhawks, and eventually, or sorry, with the Kings. I'm sorry, and
Kings,
you eventually got your cup in 2012, right? 2012. How was that? What was that like?
That was great. As good as it was to do it, I honestly can't imagine what it would have been like as a player. Uh, I went through it. I hung with the players more than the coaches. I felt closer to the players than the coaches. I was given a great opportunity to help out, and I loved it. But like I say, I just can't imagine what that feeling would be like. Like Mars and I, we played our whole life as little kids, and all we've ever thought about is winning the cup. And I've watched them do it up close. I just can't imagine that feeling to win it yourself, as a team. So as a player, but I mean, it was a lot of fun as a coach. It was great.
Now, Marcel, you were on a bunch of Canada Cup champions, a couple of Canada Cup championships, won medals at the World Championship. You never won a cup either, but your little brother won a cup, and he was not exactly as good a player as you were. Did that piss you off a little bit?
My tall brother, my
Yeah.
dad, that was his big thing with Gilbert was born. He said, I saw him at the age of 10, like playing hockey, and I saw him and said, my dad says, watch him. But look at his legs. He's going to be a tall one. He's going to be a tall one. My dad didn't care about the Stanley Cup. He wanted to have a boy to be 6 feet tall. But so, and when you say, what you say about Bernie and the Canada Cups and the All-Star games, for me, it was to reassure me how the winners win. It's not the same talk. It's tough to win, right, Bernie? It's tough to win.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The competition was around the great Montreal Canadiens. I watched in that Canada Cup, the 1972, although I didn't play, when I went back to camp, I couldn't believe how much faster I was compared to my teammates because I was playing with a team that were all fast. It was incredible. And that's what experience is all about. You see it and you see it's there. And if you don't get it, it doesn't happen. You can have this carry with you in life. You get knocked down, you get back up. So I've been hit many times, but I enjoy it. And I know when my young brother won it, I went back in the dressing room and I had a riot in Montreal at that time. And I told my wife, we're gonna stay across the St. Lawrence River in Longueuil. I says, they're gonna have a riot. Well, I must have been the only dummy because they had a riot. So we never left that place until 4 o'clock in the morning. But what a thrill. And you look at the Montreal Canadiens lineup, Patrick Roy, they got about 5 or 6 guys that were big names. The rest of them was just guys that work hard. So sometimes you can sneak in and steal one. But I saw them playing in Los Angeles. I mean, it was incredible. They won, I think, 9 or 10 games overtime. Incredible. Absolutely. That was great hockey. Just great hockey.
Yeah.
And you all Montreal for them.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, that was the Kings did have a tough go getting to the Cup final that year. They were a little bit out of gas, and then the penalty against McSorley and all that other stuff. It was it was a tough series against the Leafs before that. So there was really a tough go for the Kings, and I think in the end they just ran out of gas. If they had hung on to win that second game in Montreal, they'd been up 2-0, and then it would have been a different ball game. But the illegal stick, and we all know what happened after that.
Yeah, we all know the big guy. You keep on reminding him about that goal. He doesn't like it when he got called for.
No.
You watch that game. Montreal was not in it, and it was a hard game.
No.
If they win, it's over. That's how close it was.
Give Jacques Demers credit. Give Jacques Demers credit and the staff for picking up on the stick. And probably a stick that Marty should have put away after the second period. But I'm just saying, who knows? In retrospect, we can always
Yeah.
say that. Okay, so now there's another guest we're going to bring in tonight, and we're going to talk about exciting hockey. And when it comes to excitement, you know, like the most exciting part of a hockey game is when they get to 3-on-3 at the end of the game, and we're going to talk about the 3HL. Our next guest is the founder and CEO of the 3HL. And I know that, Bernie, you're going to be an advisor with the league. Marcel, I'm sure you'd like to be involved. I'd like to have you involved in this as well. It's clearly the most fun part of a regular season game is when they go to overtime and 3-on-3 happens. And in the 3HL, it's 3-on-3 all the time, every day. And it's a league that's just sort of, just got off the ground, unfortunately, just before the pandemic. So then we had a little bit of a setback, but now it looks like the league is ready to go. So let's bring in the CEO and founder of the 3HL, Justin Fox. Justin, welcome aboard. Tell me, first of all, Bernie, do you think you would have excelled in a 3-on-3 situation? I think that would have been right up your alley.
Mars would have too. I love watching 3-on-3 like in overtime. It's awesome. I would love to play in that. Any offensive player, Mars would be great at it too. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I was thinking, I want to come back and play in this league. I still, your mind tells you, or you can, but your body says no chance, bud. So, yeah, I'd love it.
What do you think, Justin? Do you think we could find Bernie a spot?
I can't. There's no penalty, so I can't be a power play specialist. So I think I'm out.
Right. Justin, yeah. I don't. Can we hear you?
My mic's.
Yeah, there you are.
Can you hear me now? Here, we'll just go like that. Sorry, I'll take these off. Yeah, no, for sure. Preseason game for sure, Bernie. We'll get you out there. It's no power plays, so it's just penalty shots with chasers.
I know.
I'm sure you can have some fun out there.
What about you, Marcel? Would you have liked the opportunity to play in a 3-on-3 league? I think that might have been your cup of tea.
No, I think it's wrong. That was not made for me. It's like I got to get slashed. I got to get a hook. I got to get hit. I got to be physical and all that stuff. That was my game. And it's just now watch the guys are so great with the puck. I watch them at the All-Star game, and they flip it. They play here between their legs. And I look, how many goals this guy's got at the end of the year? 28, 29. If I would have played like that with that puck, and then I have 100 goals a year. I play with Larry Robinson and Lapointe and Savard, but some guys are made for that. It's like if you ever played street hockey, you should see some of those guys how they shoot the puck. I said, I can shoot the puck like that. It's a different game. But it is exciting. You just, and there's a system to it. You just don't go out there and says, yeah, I'm going to play like that. It's just, there's a system to it. Look at this. They don't shoot the puck.
It's pretty hard to be a goaltender, I think.
That's tough. That's tough. That's exciting to watch. It doesn't stop.
Right. It absolutely not stop. Justin, tell us about the 3HL. Tell us about the league.
So yeah, like you said, we started it up a few years ago. We took a bit of a break, had some financial difficulties, I guess, if you will, and then obviously with the pandemic hitting, we're now planning on getting back into the season. Hopefully, we're going to have so I guess this is what is breaking news. We're going to have a spring fling, a few events this coming spring, COVID permitting, and then we're jumping into basically our third season this fall or this coming fall. So it's 3-on-3, exciting, fast-paced, overtime all the time. We play 3 sort of short 5-minute periods. It's kind of a bracket-style tournament. Winner moves on, loser's done. There's a cash purse. We travel from city to city, kind of like a PGA Tour style tour. So it's the 3HL Tour. So we kind of mix March Madness bracket style tournament. Obviously, the fast, exciting hockey, 3-on-3 hockey with kind of like a golf style tour where we travel and we bring the whole tournament to that city for a 1, 2, or 3 day tournament, depending on how many teams are in the tournament. The players are, we had in the previous go, we had about 30 guys that had played in the NHL. So, the goal is to kind of bring guys from Canada, potentially the US, that are at sort of that level, maybe just a step down from the NHL to come out and play. Maybe guys that are on the tail end of their career or guys that are, young and coming up and looking to, get some playing time in a fast-paced, kind of exciting league. That's what
there
it
might
is.
be some, right. I was just
So,
going to say, there
yeah,
might be
it's
some
not
guys
exciting.
who, for example, didn't make it in the NHL or just were on the cut
Right.
because of that style of play. They're perfectly suited for the 3HL, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of, you guys have just, I was listening to you guys talk, obviously, and I'm super excited to be on the panel again. Joe, thanks for having me, and it's kind of neat to be beside two greats, hearing you guys play. I was joking, I was going to do the Bernie Nicholls joke that maybe we'll get the crickets, but mine was, you probably don't want to hear about my grade 8, winning the hockey championship in grade 8 for the cities at the old Maple Leaf Gardens, right? That's not the story you guys want to hear. For me,
congratulations! That's right. Awesome.
well, you guys are talking about Stanley Cup championships and whatever. Anyway, so I was an average hockey player at best. I played my whole life. Like many, dreamed of winning a Stanley Cup, but that never happened. So the 3HL, I guess, is the next best thing. Where if I can create a 3-on-3 pro hockey league and kind of get out there. But as you mentioned. The players, there's a lot of guys like you guys mentioned, that are kind of tail end of their career. You mentioned the coaching dispute. You mentioned with what was the player's name? Ian
Turnbull. Ian Turnbull.
Turnbull. There you go. Right, sort of tail end of his career. Probably still could have played, but for whatever reason, obviously was out of the league. Guys like that would be great coming into the 3HL. Young players, young skilled guys that maybe go overseas, maybe play in other sort of minor semi-pro leagues that would like to maybe stay closer to home and play on their hometown team. So I think there's a great opportunity for the 3HL. Marcel, I was joking with you off air before. We will have a team in Niagara, so we'll have teams throughout all over Southern Ontario playing and competing in these tournaments. So we're looking for team owners to come in and players of all walks to kind of come in and fill the ranks for the next this relaunch, I guess, if you will, of the 3HL.
So how does a player or a prospective owner or maybe even like a sponsor, how would they get involved? What did they have to do to get involved?
The website's 3hltour.com. You can check that out. We're just updating a couple things. Obviously, we've got yourself and Bernie are going to be coming on as advisors. So we're kind of rolling out. We're looking for team owners. They can contact us at either myself, Justin at 3hltour.com or hockey at 3hltour.com. And reach out to us. We're on social media. 3HL Tour on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So we're kind of across the board. So you can connect with us there.
TikTok.
The players.
Nice.
What's that?
TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Well,
TikTok.
I'm expecting. We have yet to do a video, but Bernie, I'm expecting you to be the first star of the first video on TikTok.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that you got some television coverage coming up too.
Right. So one of the big things is that we've been working with Sportsnet over the past few months. They're going to be doing a feature on the league as we kind of roll out this kind of preseason spring fling, and then we're in discussions or in talks of them broadcasting the 3HL nationally on Sportsnet. So starting ideally in either at the end of the spring fling or in the beginning of the season in October. So exciting news there. Obviously, that'll give us the the exposure, the branding, and obviously really take it to the next level where people loved it. We the first go we'd get 5, 6, 7, 800 people to an event. We had great players. Now to get sort of that next step and get that exposure and really drive the league, it's going to be pretty exciting.
It's going to be a little bit different with COVID, no question about it. But I can see a really good play-by-play team here. Me and Bernie and
There you
Marcel. I
go.
think we could pretty impressive play-by-play team.
The
Anyway,
three of you. There you go. Maybe
yeah,
get
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
female flavor in there as well, and then
Sure. Yeah. So now, so the spring fling, I think the idea is for
yes,
3 events in the spring fling,
right.
events at 3 different cities. So in a weekend, we'll look, or sorry, it'll be a 1 day thing, right? It'll be like, uh, how will it look? How will it come together?
Yeah, so the spring fling will likely just be 8 teams each event. So the way as I said, the tournament style works, there's single elimination games. So 8 teams to one winner takes about 2.5 3 hours to go through because they're quick 15-minute games. You go 8 to 4 to 2 to 1, right? Sort of that March Madness style. So the spring fling will be 3 events again, COVID permitting. Sort of late, sometime in May, potentially June. So we're just finalizing some of those dates, but that'll just be kind of like a thing, some sort of to kickstart things. But in the fall and ideally long term, what it'll look like is it'll be 64 teams. We'll show up to a city and we'll play sort of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Essentially 63 games where 64 teams show up. One winner wins, and there's a cash purse that is divided each time a team wins. They earn a portion of that cash purse. So that's sort of the long-term plan, but that'll happen over the next 1, 2, 3 years. In the fall, we'll have 16 teams. So every weekend across 33 weeks, you have 16 teams show up and one winner, and there's a cash purse.
Right, and there's community involvement as well.
Exactly. So it's you talk about the PGA Tour and sort of we've talked with some of the other, obviously with Sportsnet, sort of tying into some of their community kind of hometown type events that they do. You look at the PGA Tour when they show up to a city wherever it is. It's a 4-day event. The fans come out. There's a lot of extracurriculars around the sport. There's meet and greets. There's pro-ams. There's all these different things. So we plan on sort of integrating it right into the community. And one of the cool things, I think, just separate sort of side note from your typical pro hockey or pro sport in general, they show up, they play their game, and they go home. With this, a lot of times the players, in between their games, they actually are, we've had to warn guys, you need to cover up a little bit, but they'll come out literally, from the dressing room, sit in the stands, and watch with all the other fans as the other games unfold, in preparation to sort of get back out there or to see who they're playing next, because it's all pretty quick. So there's that fan, right up close and personal fan interaction.
Well, I tell you, I'm really excited about the 3HL and 3-on-3 hockey is great. 15-minute games. It's a good attention grabber in this day and age of the short attention span that we tend to generate. And I think it's going to be fantastic. So good luck with everything. And
awesome.
I just want to say I want to thank Marcel and Bernie for taking the time to join us, and you too, Justin. And Marcel and Bernie as guests on the Joe Tilley Sports Show. We have foursome from Club Link for you. I'm just looking out the window here. Probably going to have to wait a little while to use that, but we'll be glad to hook you up. And so looking forward to maybe getting out there hitting the small ball. You guys, thanks again. It's been great, and I've got a little bit more stuff coming up in the show, so stick around for that, folks. And remember, we're all in it together.
Awesome.
Thanks, Joe.
Promotional consideration provided by ClubLink. ClubLink. One membership, more golf. Do you know why that happened? You didn't fix your ball mark. The birds around here are very protective of the course, and when people don't take care of it, this is what happens. It's pretty simple. Just find your mark, fix it, and at least one other. Hey, look at the bright side. We're not up on the northern course. They've got bears, and moose. Addiction Rehab Toronto, Toronto's #1 alcohol and drug treatment center, saving lives, reuniting families. The only treatment center in the province to offer medical detox, treatment, sober living, and lifetime aftercare all in one place. Our unique and specialized programs are designed to equip our clients with the tools to successfully lead a life of dignity, respect, and purpose. Let us help save your life or your loved one's life. Call today for more information or to facilitate an intervention. 1-855-787-2424 or visit addictionrehabtoronto.ca. COSA, Central Ontario Standardbred Association, providing a united voice for harness horse people racing at Ontario tracks. Check out your benefits today at cosaonline.com. Also, check out COSA TV on Facebook and YouTube for all the latest harness news and live action updates. Live racing year-round, and go to freescratch.ca for your chance to win a new fabulous prize every day with COSA. Time now for our weekly sports analytics segment. Here's Kwame Bryan.
Hi, my name is Kwame. I'm a development ambassador here at Elgrand, and it's a great honor to bring the stats for this week's show. You can see here we have Marcel Dionne and Nicholls, great players from their 85-86 season. Other than their similarities in their season, what are some other similarities that these two players have? See you in next week's show. Bye for now.
All right, well, Kwame, first of all, Bernie joined the Kings as a #2 center behind Marcel Dionne. Marcel set club scoring records, which Bernie then broke. He's 70 goals, is still a club record, so the guys had quite a bit in common, and they're both great guys, as we saw earlier in the program. Well, what can you say about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in Super Bowl 55? Brady wins his 7th championship and his 5th MVP title, but that Bucs defense really was the story. Completely shut down Patrick Mahomes, something no other team has done. The Chiefs didn't help themselves in their lack of discipline, and the officials also didn't help their cause at all, but the best team won this game. I've got no problem with Brady being named the MVP. There is now zero doubt that he's the best quarterback of all time. Where were the Bucs before number 12 came along? And they were way down the list. Well, the Rat Pack are, well, they're doing okay, I suppose. They at least are in playoff contention now. A nice win over the next last week. But you got to wonder what was going on with Kevin Durant. Okay, so he didn't start because of health and safety concerns. He then comes into the game off the bench, and then he leaves the game with health and safety concerns. And, you know, he was apparently in contact with somebody who had COVID earlier in the day, and you just wonder how the NBA can drop the ball on this. How can this happen during a pandemic? There's absolutely no excuse for that at all. A tough break for the Leafs. Wayne Simmons, who was having a sensational first season in blue and white, suffered a hand injury against the Canucks last weekend. Simmons could be out as long as 6 weeks. The 32-year-old Scarborough native was having a great first campaign as a Leaf. 5 goals in 12 games with the blue and white after signing with his hometown club for $1.5 million in the offseason. The Leafs will definitely miss his toughness, but he is not the only tough guy they got, so I think they will be able to weather the storm. You'll be happy to know, folks, that we have an epic contest underway. We are giving away 12 T-shirts and 3 beautiful collector prints. To enter, invite 10 friends and invite them to visit Joe Tilley Sports on Facebook and to like Joe Tilley Sports on Facebook and to subscribe to Joe Tilley Sports on YouTube. For a bonus entry, like the Talented Artists Facebook page, and that is longtime Toronto Sun cartoonist and Sports Illustrator Rob McDougall. Rob is provided with Mitch Marner T-shirts and some prints to give away, all original art. Rob is Canada's premier sports artist who has also done work for the Blue Jays and the Hockey News. We will notify the lucky winners when they win, and we're going to hand out 1 T-shirt or print each week. And enjoy Rob's work at robmcdougall.com. Good luck with that. And that's going to wrap it for this week's show. Next, we're going to show you the people who make this program possible. They're all friends, trusted business associates. They're great friends. They're great people, and please support their businesses. We'll see you next week when we have Boreas Salming on the show. Till then, goodbye.
Get Aldo at Remax Crossroads. Do you want to buy or sell a home? Could 31 years of real estate experience help you? Why not speak to an amazing team that loves to overpromise and overdeliver? Call 416-GET-ALDO or visit www.getaldo.com to find out what next-level real estate looks like. RS Demolition and Excavation has extensive experience with complete teardowns and interior strip-outs. Looking to build a custom home? RS Excavating Services has the experience you need to build in established neighborhoods. For the highest level of quality and cost-efficient results, we provide innovative demolition solutions completed on time and on budget while ensuring our number one priority, safety. Call 647-852-3006 for an estimate or visit rsdemolition.ca. Brian Gribben Insurance Planning, helping you solidify your financial future.
At BGIP, what we do that's unique in the marketplace is we show people how to spend and enjoy their money in their early years of retirement without the fear of running out. Also, we're able to do this without you having to change financial advisors. Please look us up at bgip.ca today, and let's book a 30-minute phone call to see how we can bring value to you and your family in your planning.
Call Brian today for all your retirement needs. We did. 905-686-5678. Gold Line Resources, discovering high-grade gold in Sweden. Gold Line Resources owns a prospective portfolio of 4 high-grade gold exploration projects located on the Gold Line mineral belt of north-central Sweden, and 1 gold exploration project in the Skellefteå belt of north-central Sweden. For more information on how you can invest in this new initiative, go to goldlineresources.com or call 1-800-858-9710. Gold Line Resources can also be found on the TSX Ventures Exchange as GLDL.